Today we're going to talk about getting started with still life photography. Still life photography, it's a great way to learn photography. So why would you be interested in still life photography? First of all, it's really going to help you develop your photography skills. When you're doing still life photography, you're going to learn about composition, you're going to learn about colors, you're going to learn a whole bunch about lighting, you're going to learn about shadows and contrast, you're going to learn about editing. There's just so much to it, and the range of images that you can create in still life photography are limitless. You can create abstract images, you can create images that you want to sell. There's just so much you can do with it, and it's so easy to get started, and that's what we're going to do today. In this video, we're just going to do a very quick and easy setup, and you're going to be able to do it because there's nothing to it. In fact, we're just going to use an iPhone to take the photos because that's how simple it is. Right? I don't want you to have to worry about any special gear at this point. I just want you to be able to try a simple setup and see if you like it. I'm sure that's going to give you the bug. Once you've managed to create some images that look really good, then you're going to say, hey, I want to take this further, and we'll have more videos about that. I'm going to set up this table and set up this light here, and then we're going to start talking about laying out a few little things to take photos of, and we're just going to take the photo using the cell phone. You can use your camera if you want. I'm just going to use my cell phone because I want to show how easy it is to get great photos just with a simple light setup and without any special gear. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now you can see I've got this very simple setup, just a table. This represents my natural light. As you can see, it's just a diffuse light, not very powerful, but that's where a window would be. So in your home, you set up something by a window and you're gonna have this nice soft light here. That's what we're looking for. We set up the table, and now I just want to talk quickly about surfaces, because you need some sort of surface and background in your images. You can see this table and that background, that doesn't look so great, so we want to create some sort of surface and background to use in your images. Now, you can just use fabrics for the surface and even for the background too, so that's one option, to just find some nice fabrics you have in your home. Maybe you go to Fabricland and you buy something. Another choice is you can go to places like Michael's, for example, or other craft stores, and you can buy things like this, just foam boards. These are painted black. So, if we have it set up something like this, then we've got a little place where we can set up a scene. Of course, having everything black is not always the best deal for photos. So this is called MDF. That's what it's called. It's 1/4 inch MDF, and it's easy to cut. You can get it cut at the lumber store, wherever you're at, Home Depot or Lowe's, and then you just buy some spray paint, and you can just paint them different colors, for example. So this just gives you kind of options. And here's some other ones that I've painted, and maybe I'll talk a little bit about them. So So this is just a 1/4 inch MDF board that I've got from Home Depot. And all I really did is just use some latex paint, some white and black paint, and a spray bottle and sponges. And you can flick paint at it just to create some interesting backgrounds. It can be a surface or a background. It's also good for like food photography, things like that. So this is something I can talk about more detail later, but it's just to show you can build up a little inventory of backgrounds and surfaces, and you can just do it yourself, or you can probably go and buy something like this online for a whole bunch of money, but this is cheap to do. So you can see we've got something that we could use here. is kind of bent a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but that's okay. So I'm going to try and set this up so it looks okay, and then we'll be ready to take some photos. We'll get something to take a photo of, we'll lay it out, and then you'll kind of see how it starts to come. Let's head upstairs, find a little bit of salad in a plate, and I'm going to use that for the photo that we're going to do here. Found this plate upstairs. It's actually one I bought from a thrift store. It's a great place to buy props, and a bag of leftover salad. Okay, so I've kind of wiped the fingerprints off here. We're just going to throw a little bit of salad on here. And when you do this kind of stuff, you don't want it just being sloppy and messy. You don't want little pieces like that laying around. You want to really take a look at the whole scene and look around all the edges. Try and make things look nice. You want things framed nicely. I took some photos of this just using the iPhone. I did turn this light a little bit to kind of feather the light effect because I was getting a lot of reflections, and I angled the plate a bit. I moved the food around. I took a few different shots. When you're doing this kind of photography, you got to play around a little bit with it. You can't just set it up and take one shot. Once you got things set up, you could easily sit there for 45 minutes, moving things around, trying different shots, trying to find something that really looks good. So you need to take your time with it. It's not a race. It's just for fun and creativity. So it's a great thing to explore. Okay, so this time I'm going to use a little table I have by the window behind me there. It's a good source of natural light. I'm just going to set up and we'll take a photo just using that, and you'll see how it turns out. Just grabbed these as props. It's just a wine bottle I had that I painted red, and this little decoration I grabbed from a thrift store, black piece of foam board. We're just going to use this table over here by this window, and then we're going to turn out all the lights. Just using this natural light here, you can see we have really nice soft lighting, and this is kind of what you want in your still life photos. Okay, so we've turned off all the lights in the kitchen. The only light source is from the windows, and you can see how it's going to give us really nice lighting effect on the props. I might adjust them a little bit, turn them around, and then I'm going to take a shot just using the iPhone, and we'll see how it looks afterwards. Here's a photo that I took using my iPhone. You can see that the lighting and the shadows from the natural window light look pretty nice, but the photo needs to be edited a little bit. You can go into your editing software, Lightroom, Photoshop, or whatever you use, and clean it up a bit. For example, I'm just going to fix the background. I'm going to adjust the tones and the contrast. I'm going to change some of the colors too, and maybe put a border on it. This is the edited photo, which I did in Lightroom and Photoshop. I cleaned up the specks that were on the table. I changed some of the colors around. I put some color in the background. I adjusted the contrast and tones and saturation, and I even added a border. This looks much better than the unedited photo. And really, editing images is an essential part of still life photography. You don't have to, but it's going to take your images to the next level, so it's just part of the process, and you should really learn it. Of course, I'm not going to cover editing in this video because it's a different subject altogether. However, I will present some videos on how to edit images. For now, this completes this video, as the goal was really just to show you a quick and easy setup you can use. There's so much more we can do in still life photography. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.